Hello Earth signs, this is your reading for how to cope with the current situation, what to get out of it. It's a spread that I developed and it is on my Instagram, and I figured that I'm going to record these by element and get these out and try and help you navigate through what's going on at the moment as best you can. I was feeling called to start with earth signs, and I've got a laugh actually at what's come out. I'll talk you through what the spread is, the scruffy handwriting of mine over here. The first card is for what does Spirit want you to focus on at this time. The second card is which of your natural strengths, talents and abilities can you most draw upon and most helpful to you at this time. The third question is what gifts or talents do you have that Spirit is trying to make you aware of and encourage you to develop during this time. 4 is where or in who can you find support, assistance, guidance or help. Question 5 is where can you most be of help to others at this time. Question 6 is what lessons is Spirit helping you to learn from the current situation. And question 7, which is the bottom card of the deck, any further messages really from Spirit. So I'm going to go through this now. Earth signs being the workhorses of the zodiac, what does Spirit want you to focus on at this time? The Hanged Man. This is just, it has made me laugh because it's like Spirit wants you to learn to stop, to rest, to pause. And it's also about changing perspectives. So these are the things that Spirit wants you to look at. It wants you to look at how you can stop and slow down and how you can look at the world from a different angle, which I mean, we're all kind of being forced to do that at the moment. So it's like a double whammy with this one. The first bit, like I say, being learning to slow down and to pause. There's also an element of surrender with the Hanged Man as well. I mean, it's like, for those of you that are kind of workaholics, being forced into this slow down and stop it's going to be quite painful to some extent, especially for those of you that use work as a distraction. But as I've said numerous times now, this is what this pause period is all about. It's to force us to face ourselves and not look for distractions. So yeah, that's what this is all about for you at this particular time. And again, had to laugh. 4 of Swords, which is about rest, recuperation, contemplation, meditation. Oh, sorry, just going back to the Hangman for a moment as well. The second part of that is changing your perspective. So learning to see things from a different angle, from a different point of view. So for some of you who are set in your ways, this is about questioning narratives, seeing the world through a different lens. I mean, there's a lot of that happening. You know, we keep talking about the Great Awakening and everything, and this is to allow you to integrate that. So coming back to this second card, which is your natural talents and strengths can you most draw upon. So with the 4 of Swords, although you're not like earth signs aren't necessarily, like I say, the workhorses, they are natural resters. But this is asking you to do that, to rest, dig deep. It may be like the natural strength and talent that comes with this is it's a mental talent. Swords are about mental energy, the mind. So this is asking you to contemplate and think. This is where it links with the Hanged Man. This is about like reviewing your perspectives on things and taking the time to kind of stop and analyse. It's like using this time, this pause time that you're in to meditate on things and go over things. Use the analytical mind to process. Take your time with it if you need to process these new perspectives. You know, it's kind of a natural strength of most earth signs. We're natural detectives. I'm a Virgo and I could literally FBI the hell out of anything. You know, somebody wants to know something about somebody, within an hour I can find it. like find their entire life story. So, you know, this is like asking you to take the time to, this isn't about necessarily about active research, though. This is about taking the time to integrate what you have learned and understood up to this point. So what gifts or talents do you have that Spirit is trying to make you aware of and encourage you to develop? So the Queen of Wands, the first thing that leapt out at me with this is she's a leader. The Queen of Wands is a natural leader, particularly on a spiritual level. So those of you who were already on a spiritual path, if you are being called to lead or guide others in some way, this is what this is asking you to do. This is, you know, this, even if you aren't, this could be a future thing for you. Spirit is guiding you to work on your leadership skills, your guidance skills. But the Queen of Wands, she's also about shadow. I mean, look at the black cat sat at her feet. That's all about knowing she's got inner shadows. She integrates the dark and the light. I mean, again, with the Hanged Man and the Four of Swords, this, you know, it's kind of like their sort of a rest and reflection and introspection energy. So with this Queen of Wands is asking you very much to learn to integrate those shadows as well. The next question, where or and who can I find support or guidance or assistance or help at this time? So, yeah, nobody's going out actually partying. The Three of Cups, it did make me chuckle again when this came out, because it's kind of like the one thing you can't physically do, but you can do this virtually. Do this online. Seek information where necessary. Speak to others who may have information, friends who can help you, who, you know, maybe already were spiritually minded and have a different perspective on things. Just seeking help from others, discussing, joining groups online and things like that for helping you get this information and this other perspective on things. For some of you, where it comes to integrating shadow, counselling, and I know this sounds, this maybe wouldn't normally come up with this card, but that the word counselling ran through my head when it turned over. So I think for some of you that might be, you know, it's going to be online at the moment, but maybe looking up some kind of support group of some kind, something like that, for those of you that are dealing with deep shadow. Where can you be of help to others at this time? Well, the Ace of Swords. This is where actively researching could come in. The Ace of Swords is breakthroughs, mental clarity, truth, information, and sometimes it just seems to come out of nowhere. So, to some degree, the Hanged Man and the Four of, I mean, both cards are about meditation, particularly the Four of Swords. The Ace of Swords could be asking a lot of you to slow down and, you know, meditate on any information that you've learned and allow those breakthroughs and those clarities to come through and for it to make sense. How you can be of help to others with that is, especially if you're communicating with others to try and get information or to work on shadow. This is going to be of help to others. If you are integrating new information and taking on board new information instead of rejecting it, it's going to help yourself, it's going to help others to, I mean, for those of you that are called to guide and lead, then obviously, you know, spreading information is where you can help others. So there's that. But just taking the information on board will help others. Learning the truth of things, of the world, and understanding the truth of what's going on behind the scenes with everything at the moment. Just understanding the truth and allowing it to come through to you is going to help greatly in the near future. So don't underestimate how changing your perspective and looking at the world with these different eyes is actually set to help more going forward. So, what lessons is Spirit helping you to learn from the current situation? The Chariot, interestingly, so I took this to be the, sort of duality. So for some of you, your perspective is going to be learning about duality, the things you're going to be learning, that things aren't quite what they seem. And like the word speed keeps going through my head. And I think this is kind of saying, because it's like the opposite of the Hanged Man, it's kind of saying learning where to stop and rest, and learning where to go fast. This is about it's about sort of putting the brakes on when necessary, but learning that you don't always have to be going at everything 100 miles an hour to get somewhere. Sometimes the most progress is made in being still. The bottom of the deck, overall messages or extra guidance. The Seven of Pentacles, again, this is about seeds being planted and being patient. So there's a lot of information, a lot of messages here about being patient. This is saying that seeds that have been planted now are going to take time to grow. So again, this is like seeing the world from a new perspective, allowing time for that information to come through to make sense. Because if you do have some kind of future role in leadership, in spiritual guidance, you're going to need, this is where this would come in, because it's in the future, the information that you're learning now, the seeds that are being planted now, the clarity and truth and knowledge that's coming through now that you're taking in, it might not seem like it's going to be helpful to others right at this moment in time, but it's planting the seed for a future role, leadership role. So yeah, earth signs, this is you being called to stop accepting narratives from the media and try and look at the world from a different perspective. Try to think there may be the seeds being planted. Have a little bit of patience as well. Just sort of slow down and try and, I mean, if you're not used to meditating, learn. But this is very much kind of a slow down kind of energy. Speaking to others, like I say, speak to others who may have information to share to help you. Start following some pages that you maybe would never have followed before. And just allow these seeds that are being planted time to come to fruition. You're on a learning journey. I feel for a lot of you, this is like a new awakening energy. Or some of you coming to another level. But this doesn't feel like it's for people who are really, really far on the journey. This feels to me like this is for people who are just sort of coming to see things from a new perspective. And this is kind of saying, take some time to integrate this information. You're at the beginning of a journey. You know, you've got a long journey. There's a long way to go. Don't be in a rush to get there so soon. You will get there. So, yeah, that's the messages that are coming through for earth signs. Thank you.